Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Martin and welcome to 2K Central. So Gamescom is upon us and along with it is a new Mafia 3 trailer, the Heist. And my word, was it good. It showcased one of the first major missions in the game. It also answered a lot of questions and raised some new ones. So we decided to do a breakdown of the trailer. Here we go. Goddamn, I'm too excited right now. Okay, we immediately get a security guard working a night shift, and throughout the night he's been smoking a few cigarettes. It seems like every single person in this game smokes, but I guess those were the times. Then we see a armoured truck that pulls up. The security guard requests IDs to enter the premises. He's handed what we assume is two forged IDs. And we then get our main protagonist Lincoln Clay's reflection in the side mirror. The security guard then gives them the all clear to enter the loading dock. Lincoln then drives into the parking lot. And then shockingly we see Sal Marcano's son, Georgie, sitting in the passenger seat. And they both are in disguise as security guards because it gives them the freedom to walk the premises without any further questions. And I have to say it's quite hilarious to see Lincoln in this outfit. The two then look at each other and the looks on their face tells the full story. Did that seriously just work? And then it cuts to 2K Presents. We then see Georgie attempt to crack a safe. Being honest, this is a grand plan to rob a bank, so I think it's fair to expect that they had the code for the safe prior to entering the building, because I can't see Georgie being an expert when it comes to cracking safes. A Hangar 13 production. It then cuts to Lincoln sweating with nerves as Georgie attempts to crack open the safe. But one thing that really stood out about this whole trailer was it really does show you how much Lincoln changes after being shot in the head and losing a second family, the Black Mob, like it would anyone, but he's much more human and emotional in these scenes. While after being shot in the head, it seems like he loses a part of himself, just much more ruthless and dark. We then see New Bordeaux, 1968. It immediately cuts to Sal Marcano's perspective as he listens to a live newscast of the events. The police continue to search the French ward for at least 4 men believed to be involved in the robbing of the Federal Reserve. So we know the bank heist took place in the French ward now. Now, interesting little note, we also got a small hint for this heist back in the gameplay reveal. Yeah, I know, I was going to do a breakdown of it. I should have, because I did notice this. It's extremely easily missed, but it's a newspaper article on the wall behind our favourite detective, McGuire. It says, "Robbers hit Federal Reserve. Escape with over 6 million. Robbery left scores dead. They escaped by blowing the vault." So there's some extra information that cannot be obtained through the trailer. They actually made 6 million from the Federal Reserve. We also see Sal's brother Uncle Lou pacing back and forth in the background as he listens to the radio. And we also see a little family photo on the right, including Sal Marcano and his brother Tommy, who was in the original reveal trailer and it did not go well for him. Sal Marcano then gets tired of listening to the newsfeed, so he shuts it off so he can talk to his family in peace. It then switches to Georgie and Lincoln opening the safe and laying their eyes on the cash money they attempt to steal. It then cuts back to Sal, who is starting to worry a little, and he explains that there's going to be a lot of attention from the police after this bank heist. Now, the interesting thing to note is there are some similarities between Lincoln and Sal in these two clips. Just like Sal, Lincoln is rather nervous and thinking about what could go wrong, while Georgie is confident and telling him he has no need to worry and that they're going to pull this heist off. And it then cuts to Sal's sister-in-law, Olivia, who tells Sal he has no need to worry and he should relax. So I thought it was interesting that both Lincoln and Sal were going through similar feelings in this scene. And to the left is most likely Sal's brother, Tommy. It then switches to a shot of an alarm going off and Lincoln with a well shit look on his face. As I said prior, Georgie reassures him by saying we're going to pull this off, kind of showcasing that he makes a rather good leader to some extent, giving Lincoln some confidence to get through this whole ordeal. Lincoln then glances at the door at incoming reinforcements and both Georgie and Lincoln go guns a-blazing and try and hold off the police. We then see their escape plan in action and it's actually quite impressive. They blow up the vault's foundations with C4, it then drops, giving them both access to an underground tunnel, and in the tunnel 2 men await them in a boat and they then escape. It then transitions to Lincoln with an M60, but it also showcases Lincoln being brave, unlike the previous scenes. He really kind of comes into his own when it comes to combat. He's a leader, while Georgie seems to be kind of rather nervous in this clip, so the two have kind of switched positions. Lincoln then walks from the vault to the underground tunnel and they both get in a boat with 2 other gentlemen who we'll talk more about a little later. And Georgie starts climbing a ladder which leads to the surface, and as you can see they've taken off the disguise to keep the police off their backs. We then see everyone reach the surface as there's a parade taking place, so that was also a part of this elaborate heist. Steal the cash, escape via boat through a tunnel, ditch the disguises, resurface, among this parade and will remain undetected because of the large crowds and noise. And here Lincoln is carrying one of the getaway drivers who has been shot in his left leg during the escape. We then get to see all 4 people who were involved in the heist, and the guy that was shot is now able to stand, thankfully, except he's limping a little. And we'll also see more of this guy a little later in the trailer. We actually don't know his name yet, unfortunately. And we obviously have Ellis, Sammy's son and one of Lincoln's best friends, to the right. Georgie then hands Lincoln a pistol and he shoots into the air, most likely to scare people away to cause some chaos, allowing them to get away. It then transitions to Georgie returning to Sal and his family, and Sal looks very happy about it because he knows he's about to be richer, and as does Georgie. And oddly, he's wearing this same disguise again, despite ditching it previously. Perhaps he's trying to be funny, or maybe there's multiple ways this cutscene can turn out based on choices. We'll see. And Sal then tells his son to get changed, and that they're going to Sammy's bar to pick up their share of the money, which happens to be all of it, really. It then switches to Sammy's perspective as he counts the money and divides it into 3 shares, which is kind of interesting. I wonder who the third group is. And we also get the 3 men who were involved in the heist having a little conversation in the background. It then cuts back to Sal, who tells Georgie there's one more thing we need to do, which we all know what that is: kill the black mob and take all of the money for ourselves. Ah, what a dick. Now, one thing I've really liked about this trailer has been Georgie. He seems rather likable to me and genuinely emotional about having to kill the black mob. He just feels like he can't go against his father. But it really shows that the dynamic between Lincoln and Georgie in this game will be very interesting because it is super personal. And here we get Ellis, Sammy's son, and Lincoln sharing a moment of happiness just before it all gets taken away. And we also see the guy who got shot in the leg resting in the background while Sammy, Ellis, and Lincoln share a drink. Sammy then says this isn't just money, this is freedom, which is a big thing to say, so no more struggles for the black mob, freedom to do what they want. It then shows clips of people dancing during the festival to express a form of happiness to the viewer to some extent. It then goes from happy moments and returns to the discussion between Sal and Georgie. They're talking about dealing with the black mob. Georgie is against the idea and Sal says, I need you with me on this. And it once again shows people are celebrating and being genuinely happy. Back to Georgie with a sad look on his face, and he says, I'm with you, Pop. And he gives a reassuring smile, but clearly there seems to be some pain behind it. It immediately transitions to the heist crew escaping via boat in the tunnels, which we've obviously just talked about. Trailers often do this type of thing, they're rarely in chronological order. We then get to see Lincoln and his 2 friends driving away. So clearly Georgie got in his own car and returned to his father, Sal Marcano. Now this is where it all goes down. We get Sammy looking nervously at the door of his bar as Sal Marcano enters and says, do you mind pouring me one of those? Meaning, can I get one of those drinks? As if he wasn't greedy enough, he wants their alcohol too. As an Irishman, that's too far, bro. We then get to see a clip of the boat speeding away. We actually seen this in a previous trailer. It was just so out of context, it was difficult to judge what was happening. In one of the final clips in the trailer, we see Sal giving Sammy that legendary kiss of death that we've seen so much. The look on Sammy's face tells it all. He's clearly worried and can tell something's about to happen. And this whole trailer finally gives context to why Sal has chosen to kill the black mob, purely out of greed. Who would have knew? So to sum it up, he completely used the black mob and then wiped them out and took the money for himself. But once again, it shows how smart he is. He knows when to make his move and how to hold on to power. And then we finally end on what is possibly the most defining moment in Lincoln's life. Georgie, a former friend, shooting him in the head. Now, one thing that is extremely clear is the look on Georgie's face. He really doesn't want to shoot Lincoln, but he just has to. Also, in the one-way story trailer, you can clearly see that there's tears in his eyes. So it does seem to hurt Georgie to have to do this. Now, one thing that is worth noting is Georgie's last words to Lincoln are, you shouldn't have said no.
I said no.
But do let us know what you guys think, and what was your favourite thing from this trailer? Mine was possibly Georgie and Sal, being honest. Especially Georgie, I think he's quite a deep character. And his relationship with Lincoln was a little deeper than I thought too. It's going to be very interesting throughout the game. And what was your least favourite thing from the trailer? I know some people will complain about spoilers, and yeah, I do agree, for the most part they have given away too much of the game's story. And I feel like we don't need any more story trailers. We've kind of had enough, because speaking for all of us, we read into things too much, and we're kind of spoiling it on ourselves to some extent. So hopefully, just gameplay from now on. But yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Mafia 3 will be released October 7th on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. There's more videos on the way, so stay tuned for more Mafia related content here on 2K Central. Hey, what's the name of that song in the background?
Walking down the street and you hear that heavy beat, can't help but